My staff were scared. I was scared. We did screenshots of Facebook where there's threats of burning down the restaurant. Um, and there's one guy said they should burn it down, and then another message came back said done with the fire emojis after it. We shared that with the police department. They came down and they were driving by all the time. I hired security to make sure that we weren't, my staff was safe. I had placed security in the restaurant, if you want to say undercover, but in civilian clothes, to make sure that we walked out. We had to have a plan that if something did happen, we all run through the exit and their cars were close by, that, you know, a building I can replace, but a life I can't.
We're here with Chad Stevens, owner of the restaurant formerly known as Sambo's. Sambo's was a California-based chain with, at one point, more than 1,200 restaurants. That is now mostly gone, save for one location, Chad's restaurant in Santa Barbara, California. He's going to talk to us today about his recent decision to change the controversial name of the restaurant, which has been linked to a racist stereotype. When you guys opened the restaurant in the beginning, like you said, it was kind of like this fun theming type of thing. In more recent years, had you sort of started going away from that, or did you kind of try and evolve the theming at all? Or?
Well, I mean, the theming, you know, obviously I understand that there's controversy surrounding it, and I would be remiss if I didn't recognize that. But in the grand scheme of things, it was about an Indian child, that the story was a good story. You know, if anybody were to read it, would find that the story itself is not controversial. Where the controversy comes up is that some of the characters in the original book depicted what one might find to be not very flattering, and so we understood that.
So, had you guys considered changing the name before this?
Out of the respect for my grandfather, my grandmother, and my family that created this opportunity for me to run down here, we continued with the name just on that level. And also it's popular. I mean, if you take 1,200 restaurants open 24 hours a day over so it was 1957, not that the equal numbers, but let's say 1960 to the 1980s, we've got millions of people, not multi-millions of customers. So people would like slam on the brakes. There's a Sambo's. I can't believe it. My childhood. There's so many great memories associated. I get emails, calls that I met my wife, I met my husband, I had, you know, late night dinners or late night coffee sessions. And Sambo's had such a great history to it. I didn't want to give up on that.
Absolutely. It must have been very hard to detach from the name, especially since it's so associated with the brand. And like you said, with your customers' experiences, was it, I'm guessing it was kind of a tough decision. Like, what was going through your head over the past few weeks?
Well, I mean, it definitely was a tough decision, but I think it was, you know, at this point in time in our country that, you know, hopefully we can pull everybody together and be united. And it was a tough, but I think it's the right decision. It's a time that we need to make change.
Absolutely. And what was the reaction when you announced the name change?
When we did the name change locally, friends and family and other people, as a matter of fact, my uncle, which Sam Jr., which is my grandfather's son that took the restaurant huge, he said, hey, you're doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. So did other Sambo's executive contacted me and said, we respect your decision, you're doing the right thing. And then across a broad base, there was a lot of people that said, you're doing the right thing, we support you and all that. On the other side, there's other people that were willing to protect our restaurant, if you want to call it that, with that we should change the name. And we have also a portion of the public that's really upset that we gave in to the protesters.
And I guess the big question that everyone's wondering is, what will you be renaming the restaurant? Do you have any ideas yet?
We're working on some different ideas. We don't have anything right now. The peace and love seems to work. Right now, I don't think that's going to be our name. We're just trying to get through these challenging times and, you know, come out, you know, that my employees, myself, that we have a good business. You know, knock on wood, the lucky thing is we have a great location. So being right on the beachfront, you know, and as long as I can provide or continue to provide good food and service, I think we'll survive.